Take two. Hey everyone, this is Jedi Mike 7. I'm back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about The Boys. Not season 1, not season 2, but season 3, right? The first 3 episodes dropped on Amazon Prime. I'm with my good co-host here, Jay King. Jay King, how you doing?
I am doing good. I am doing good, and I am ready to talk about the fact that the boys are back.
Hmm. The boys are back! The boys are back! You guys not old enough for that, you won't remember. Anyway,
hmm
um, but yeah, going J King out before I'll get started. You tell me what were your first overall thoughts of the I guess first 2 episodes as first 3 episodes as a whole, and then we kind of go into specifics after.
I, after the first 2 seasons, I did not think this show could get any crazier, grosser, or intriguing, and I was wrong. This third season so far, with these first 3 episodes, especially a certain scene in that first episode. Gosh,
Listen,
I'm rethinking. I am rethinking sneezing now.
I I'm just like you think. Listen, we know nudity and all this stuff going on there, but I'm gonna tell you this: I've never seen that in my entire life. I've never seen that in my entire life. We saw a man
I
and
could have
going
gone my
into another
whole life
man,
without seeing that.
and then outside, not outside of a man's butt, you know. But no, we went. He went the other hole. Yeah, the other one. Yeah,
Which, by the way, they revealed that they were inspired by the infamous Ant-Man Thanos meme.
but they didn't go the other way. He went
They
the
didn't
right way.
go the other way though. They went worse.
Hmm. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I think to me, I'm like overall, I thought this was a good first start of season 3, and again, a lot of things this show coming at a particular time. A lot of references they have in there. I really appreciate what they're doing. Basically hitting on the nose about certain issues that are going on in the world today, but also being still meta at with the superhero culture. Like the freaking whole thing started off with a Snyder cut
Release the Vort
parody.
cut. Release the Vort cut.
Well, you're low. Your mic's low.
Release the Vort cut.
Right, exactly. Like it was just like um they like start off with a parody of like the Snyder cut or the vodka of their new movie was the Dawn of the Seven, which they
Yeah, it was
made
Dawn
it
of the
different,
Seven. With
different for.
Charlize Theron making a freaking cameo. First Doctor Strange, now here.
Yeah, she's making money moves, right? She is. No, shout out to her. I think yeah, she's getting paid. She will be getting paid. But yeah, listen, I think I'm just like anybody else. Like I mean, again, the meta joke behind it, but again, still playing the fact that Stormfront, the events of season 2, her being a white supremacist, Nazi, all this stuff, and Homelander now have to take the heat of it, and now his ratings are going low. His ratings are going low, and they're talking about the whole meta line of him saying like I'm just a man that fell wrong with the wrong woman, and I'm just really happy for everybody to see the real me. Like again, like I think what they're doing here, what they're setting up, as we get forward into like the episodes individually. Again, this show would not, to me, would not be what it is. While Anthony Starr, uh, uh, yeah, he's just killing it. That's
He is
Homelander.
bringing it as Homelander. Like you are, every time he's on scene, you're on edge that he's just gonna snap at any moment, and he has. But now, after Stormfront and everything he went through the first 2 seasons, he's literally at the point like push one more button and that's it.
Right, right. And again, we're still getting like a overall like introduction of like this is like a year later after the events of season season 2, and what we find out is that everybody living like the perfect lives. Everyone
Yeah. Everyone
Huey.
except for Butcher, like Huey got is continuing the job that he had at the end of the last season. Mother's Milk is like, trying to do a whole co-parenting with his kid. Even Kimiko and everybody, like, they're still at least, like, even though they're still taking down soups, are at least living their lives the way they want to. But Butcher's the only one that still can't let it go because remember, season two, his wife did not make it, and the only memory he has left is the son of her and Homelander.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think that what they can kind of again like setting up is just like not everything is all good at what it seems and everything like this whole like, oh, we're not killing anybody, oh, we're all good, everything's all cookie cutter. And like, nope, that's boring. Like it's like people having emotionally like healthy relationships, having a nice job and everything with their kids. Who wants that? No, who wants that? Right?
Who wants
Um,
that? Let's mess it all up.
but one thing I gotta say is that when we get into like we'll start with the first episode again, when we start now seeing people doing the ramifications of season two, and finally when we found out that Stormfront is still alive, but barely.
Barely.
Um,
Barely. She barely. She's hanging on by like a thread, can barely speak, hospital, like still missing, parts of herself. And then what Homelander does with her, dear God.
yeah, like I said, I'm just trying to say things. I don't want to get demonetized when we get it and stuff like. But it just like yeah, it's still the fucked upness of this like show. Like I mean, and again, they still did not disappoint with I'm not going with the violence and everything, but um, it's still like what I like about it. Again, we see Edgar, going talking about you know uh going to talking about the conditions of compound V, where it's like now they're smaller doses, only used for 24 hours, which is part of the storyline they have in the comics. Now the boy is able to take it to get an edge on the soups. But again, everyone are on their own. They're like on a stalemate right now, right? But everyone is cool except for Homelander, right? And to the point that his ego and insecurity and everything is growing. And one thing I like what they got here is that him and Butcher are like two sides of the same coin, especially in the first episode, going like, hey, they don't like where they want to be right now, especially when they have like a conversation in the house. But Butcher saying like, hey, listen, do you really want this? Like, you no, are you cool with this right now? Because I'm not. He's like, no, I just want to just be you and me. We just burn this whole world to the ground and all this stuff, and like be a bloodbath. It's like me either. I wouldn't want it any other way. And again, it's still like there's two people on the opposite spectrum still, two sides of the same coin, which I like what they did. But again, also just saying that Butcher is like he still can't get a break. He's like, no, I can't. I gotta start killing folks again, killing these soups again. I can't take it. You know? Do you hear me? You're frozen. Your mic is muted. But yeah, but one thing I will say that I really like what they did here. Again, when they go into this new security or superhero bureau that basically keeping these heroes in check and stuff. Like I really like what they did there. Again, going to the show, moving from more of a politics point of view. As you know, with the storyline, the comics where they directly are heading to. Um, and I like what they're going in terms of the direction for maybe possibly what obviously was season four. But yeah, you see Frenchie, you see Mother's Milk, you see the female. All of them have their own individual storylines as they're trying to get soups, but yet they're following under the leadership of Huey. Now part of the bureau, and Butcher's not really having it again. Like Huey, you know, for the last two seasons, he basically was getting his butt kicked and not really kind of standing on his 2 feet. But now he has opportunity now working in the bureau. But lo and behold, when he finds out that the main woman is a soup, and she's actually the same soup that was the girl that was popping heads. And then when you find out later in the rest of other episodes that she's actually adopted by Edgar, you know, and I really appreciate again going to the more of like Edgar and Vought, how they always have a one step ahead of them all the time, and I guess they have to always have leverage when they think oh no, the Vought basically got down in this situation. Like nope, Vought still is still in control. Whether it's in Congress, the military, etc. Vought will always find a way, right? And one thing again, going to this season where we get a new introduction to new characters. We get introduced to a couple new characters, which is tied to the team called Payback. Now, Payback, as you know, is basically the team of uh, the almost a parody of the Avengers, as much as the Seven is a parody of the Justice League. We got characters like Crimson Cure. We got characters like TNT Twins. We got Black Noir, who was also originally part um, of the Payback, and then the main character, which we at least we don't see, we know we can get introduced later in the season, is Soldier Boy, played by Jason Eccles. And again, I like it with the terms of the storyline that they're building up here. If you know the comics and direction they might be going, they need to find something to take down Homelander, and they think Soldier Boy is the one. Soon, when they probably find out that they might be have more a bigger problem than Homelander. When they soon find out when we get introduced to Soldier Boy. But J King, are your mic good?
Yeah, it is. It was
Okay.
technical difficulties for a minute.
All right. Yeah, but go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Hmm. All right, so I guess we're talking about the
Just yeah.
Soldier Boy and the new team.
Yeah.
Okay, so I heard you saying they're more like the Avengers. I'd say they're more like either like the Justice Society or something like that. Since again, it's like back in the day and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
okay, so obviously we see them like third episode. Where we're explaining the last time anyone saw Soldier Boy, um, which I have to say, like you could definitely see the beginning of like the arrogance when it comes to some of these superheroes. And also surprisingly to see Black Noir without his mask on,
A
which
black
by the way,
man, a
uh
Negro
which b-
male.
which by the way, I did not recognize the actor, but someone pointed out because this actor is also in Superman and Lois.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, but I was surprised we were gonna see his face. I thought it was just gonna be a like silence, no talk, except for like maybe a surprise moment in the season where he's like, "Stop that!" and I'm just like, "Uh oh." But no, they showed his face. They showed what he looks like, and then of course we see many of them get taken out, especially the fly dude who cost it.
Right. And again, it was just the stupid nature of it, like making it to like a World War II back backstory of like how Russia found out basically faked Soldier Boy's death and how he got then died in the explosion. He was captured by Russians or something, and it could probably gonna make him not just a Captain America, but more like a Winter Soldier type thing. I'm bringing him
I
back.
I will say though that his dynamic between of Soldier Boy and then the younger version of you know who was almost like Steve and Peggy if Steve was arrogant.
Yeah, yeah, no,
Hmm.
you're absolutely right. No, you're absolutely right. But even then, even that story was also real world. Was talking about how she was working with the cocaine martel, the drug trade, and all that stuff. And it's like, yeah, and then Mother's Milk. That were you part of that too? Like part of what? Oh yeah, we took the cocaine CIA cocaine import agency.
Into minority
Into
neighborhoods.
minority communities. I was like, and that's some real shit. That's like and I'm glad it didn't shy away from that, you know. But yeah, man. Again, going to also with Black Noir, where you find out about him that and then you have a young Edgar, which I like that actor that played young Edgar. I thought he was cool. I'm like that was perfect
Yeah,
casting. Got his
yeah,
mannerisms.
I definitely agree. Hmm.
Yeah, but to a point, he's like, saying, "I want to show my mask. I want them to see me." I'm like, dude, you're a black man during World War II, which is what the '60s, the '70s. No, right, I think '60s, right? Um, this yeah, right. In the early '60s or '50s, whatever. I'm like, okay, all right, yeah, you can show your mask, and then guess
Uh,
what? You can use that mask to keep you warm when you go back home. I was like, oh, damn,
it
damn.
kind of reminded me like a meme someone made like after Endgame where Sam was like, "I'm gonna come back with you," and he's like, "There's a thing called racism back then." And I'm just like, "Mm-hmm."
Yeah, yeah. But then as we kind of go into other things, like when they find out, all right, now we gotta get these we realized that this pop head lady is a soup and that she's an adopted daughter of Edgar. It's like we need to get this mess going out here. And then But then we find out going to season, I mean, excuse me, episode 2 was like, it's Homelander's birthday, right? This man cannot have a bigger ego than himself. It's his birthday, but it's not really his birthday, right?
Right, it's
And
a fabricated birthday that they gave for him, and and lo and behold, his birthday is one of the most worst days for him because that's when Stormfront finally
sure,
kicks the boot.
yeah, and now be careful with with the word, but like,
Yeah,
yeah, she's self,
I'm not. I wasn't gonna say it.
yeah,
Just saying, like,
I
kicks
know,
the
but thank
boot.
you. But yeah,
Hmm.
she self deleted herself, and she
Hmm.
had enough. But now allegedly, because we didn't see no body, we saw her be the body rolled out, but maybe we might see, hey, maybe she was killed. We don't know, but everyone hating that
Who
she was a
knows?
Nazi and all this stuff, but and it was all happening on his birthday while he was trying to save someone from self deleting themselves, jumping off the roof, and again that scene of him just like saying, you know what, uh that whole thing about Jesus being being born on 25th, that's some BS. It's all stuff about paganism and everything, and it's not even my birthday too, right? Yet here I am, saving you, being a worthless human. Yet a god just died, right? Why should I save you? You know what? You should go ahead and jump. It's like, no, no, I don't want to. Like, I'm not asking you. Jump. And I was like, yo, right? And she's like saying, oh God, like there is no God. There's only me, right? And which I think also a direct line from the comics too. Like right, like there's no guy, it's only me up in there, up in the sky, and it builds up to the breaking point of him in this scene of with Starlight, and they're saying like, hey, this is
Hmm.
my birthday and everything, and someone heckling him in the audience in Votland, say, hey, your Nazi died.
Nazi
I was,
died. I was
I was
like,
like,
you.
yo,
I was like, why would you say that?
and at that point, to me, this was, I felt, my one of my favorite scenes of him that he done so far. My personal opinion, because like this is going to a point of like him breaking, and now he's like, you know what, fuck it, like I'm the Homelander, and quote, I can do whatever the fuck I want, like, no, like, yeah, excuse my language, but yeah, that's literally what it is. And I like he just say, you know what, you're not the real heroes, I am.
I'm the real hero. Like this season, I swear this season is going to push Homelander's buttons more than the previous two did. He is on his last thread. Stormfront's now gone. He still does not know where his son is, and plus his public reputation. That's like his son and his public reputation is like the last two things he's got. He knows his son hates him, so it's kind of like that's already gone. So as soon as his public reputation is gone, it's about to be a bit of a smaller scale, but on some Omni Man mess.
Right. Well, not even then. It's just like, he had a mission, right? Like, he had a
Mm-hmm.
mission what he was gonna do, but um, but again, it was the point of like the scene he had with Starlight, in the way is that now they're making them co-captains, right? Another big middle finger to him in the face, and then him also like losing control, and he's breaking go over A Train, who has heart issues and eating and stuff, and he's saying you getting
Mm-hmm.
fat, and I'm like, man, what? Like, I mean, this dude, this is like,
And
been
and
through a
and and
lot.
and, and speaking of A Train, his kind of new costume.
Which, like, when I saw the trailer, like, it looked, I mean, to me, I said, look horrible, right? But that's the
Mm-hmm.
point. It's the point, right?
It's the
Be-
point. He's trying to find something for himself since he can't necessarily run unless he wants to risk his life. So he needs to find a new way to rebrand. Which, stop it. Get some help.
yeah, like, taking over, making a video game based off the slave trade. Like, you got me messed up. Like, come on. Come on. Now, like, but it's hilarious, though. But again, it goes up to a point, like, you want to root for these, like, for some of these, soups, because, like, they've been through some stuff. Maybe they realize, hey, I've done some bad things. But again, when you, like, now, A Train to Africa. Now it's like, well, I gotta
Yeah,
be with the
no,
culture.
no. At this point, the only soup I will root for is Starlight. Like some of them, I don't mind, but like the rest of them, hell no.
Hmm. Yeah, and then and then again, we have the deep, him being still being a joke back in the seven and all this stuff. Again, it's like him. like Homelander having control over him and saying like, eat that octopus and all that stuff. That was just a very very gruesome scene.
That was so unsettling. That scene was so unsettling. Like, and again, it's unsettling because like most of the unsettling scenes so far in this season have come from Homelander and his interactions with other people, his interactions with Butcher, with A Train, with the Deep, with Starlight. Like all of them are just uncomfortable. And I'm not just talking about one certain scene at the beginning of the third episode. I'm talking about all of them are uncomfortable, especially that Deep scene. I had to look away. I had to look away. And I knew it was CGI, but I had to look away.
Right. And even then, it was funny that when you had that like everybody forget the Homelander got a super hearing, like and then like, he talking to A Train and stuff like,
He's, he
you're the
said,
fastest man, you're a
he
joke.
said,
He's like
he's like, what'd you say?
he's like, the fuck you
What'd you say?
say? I was just like, no, that was hilarious to me, right? And then Maeve is contacting Butcher, giving him the new bot,
Mm-hmm.
compound V for 24 hours, and now that's changing him. But then he had to deal wrestle with it because it's like now it's like he being a hypocrite, right?
Mm-hmm.
He being the very thing you said you're going to condemn, and yet here we go with this scene with him and Homelander, which I'm gonna say probably debatable. I don't know if this is actually real, if this is actually like him like hallucinating, or if that's actually Homelander stopped by. Because
I thought for a moment that it was Homelander stopping by, and it felt like it for a moment. But after the second episode, where it definitely was hallucinations, there, I am questioning if he really was talking to Homelander or not. Again, I won't deny that maybe he did. Maybe Homelander knew where he was and just talked to try and pry it out of him because he knows what type of leverage Butcher has over him. But again, like that's also the thing. Like we're now dealing with how far Butcher is, like how far Homelander's buttons will push, and how far Butcher is willing to go to take down Homelander and the rest of the soups that are obviously going out of control. And I mean, you understand why he takes the compound V because he needs an edge. He's gotten his butt kicked throughout the last two seasons. He needs an edge, especially with the growing of powers. But at the same time, it's turning him into something he probably shouldn't.
right, and I guess like obviously we'll get more revelations about him, and I guess now when the team finds out, because and the like third episode ended him puking, throwing up in front of Huey's face and stuff. He's like,
What the fuck?
what the fuck, um, and yeah, so but yeah, I guess going on to like the last note, I think anything I'm missing, in the last.
Have you talked about the lead up to that final scene in the third episode, like with this whole like America's Hero show where we introduced like three new heroes, especially one that Starlight knew in the past who was going to join the Seven, but she said
Oh
no.
yeah,
But he's like, look, I don't worry, like I got your back when it comes to this stuff. And then they bring him into the Seven. They bring the Deep back, and then Homelander's like, "Hey, Deep, like at first I thought he was just making a joke, like, hey, don't do what you did last time." But then he was like, "Starlight's my girl," and I was just like, "Huh?"
right.
And
Yeah, but also like hashtag homelight.
no,
Yeah, this is what we see here. Because like again, they go in him meaning introducing other heroes like Starlight's ex boyfriend, Supersonic. Isn't that name?
got your
Yeah,
license to drive.
right. Right. And again, it's just like, this world building of like this American Idol of like who's gonna be in the seven. And yeah, you got this black woman, this I think she's a Muslim woman with a
Hmm.
job, and then you have the pure white white teeth, American boy, supersonic, right. Who's gonna be on the seven?
I think
Right. And then he
Stormfront's rubbing off on Homelander now.
Right, but I think it's more of not even really him being like racist or anything like that. I think it's also just him having control because he just want to make this a joke out of everybody, right? He's like hashtag homelight, you know, which then wouldn't even make any sense because like you just got over like Stormfront and you just want to get you know, with Starlight, but it's not that he's in love
Especially,
with Starlight,
especially, especially when the public knows she's dating Huey.
right? But again, this is just putting this is putting stress on her, right? Which that's all he cares about. Like, hey, I've been taking shit from y'all. Like, no more. I'm getting all y'all now. Like, yeah, you know, it's my rules. I don't care. You co-captain, right? And even though we thought like Starlight is like was taking control, but again, like this, Homelander, still got like one up on her. But I am liking that at least with Starlight that she is stepping in her own, like in this season, like she's making more decisions, like she's more like fighting more, not being more of a pushback, and going to like the ending of season of episode one. I mean episode three to end of episode to the beginning of episode three when she was in the pageant girl and how like her mom said you gotta suck it up and do it. And then at the end, Huey's like, hey, you gotta suck it up and do this, right? And then she's the one that made the move to kiss Homelander because she's trying to just play the part, right? And stuff. And I know this is probably gonna backfire, but especially in like Huey and Starlight's relationship, but again, this is just I like what they're doing. Just like just setting up just the tension. There's like a lot of tension with these scenes are going up. Every time Anthony Starr is on screen, and just like he just steals the show. But yeah.
Which is crazy because he seems like such the nicest guy in real life, but then he comes on here and plays like the most scariest dude you can imagine.
hmm Right. Yeah, and I honestly think like to me, like I said, if it wasn't for him, this shit, like I don't think they will make this show. Like the show would not work, right?
Probably,
And
yeah.
but again, I love what they're doing with the direction of this show. At least right now, the first three episodes. I think we got a total of 8 or 9, I believe. And they'll be releasing on, I believe, either Wednesday, no Friday. I think Friday. And yeah,
Yeah,
I know we
Friday,
get
because like we got enough stuff on Wednesday. We got Obi-Wan, we got Miss Marvel this week. Like there's enough stuff on Wednesdays.
right. Yeah. So, guys, yeah, but we're gonna conclude this video. It wasn't gonna be too long. We're just gonna talk about the first three episodes. But let us know your thoughts on the comment section down below. And make sure you hit the subscribe button, comment, like, and share. Let us know your thoughts on the boys season 3, the first 3 episodes, and we'll be back with you for the rest of the season as we get on with the more episodes to come. Along with other content coming this week, we got Obi-Wan, we got Miss Marvel's premiering. A lot of things are happening, so make sure you hit notification bell.
Jurassic Park this week as well in
Jurassic
theaters.
Park, all this stuff. So yeah, stay tuned. Stay tuned. We'll see you next time. Till next time, I'm Jenna Mike 7, and this is Jay King. Peace. We're out.